Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hey, I thought I'd do a little something that I've been looking at for a while, and with the trip that I took from California to Texas, while I was en route, I decided to do a comparison with RVTrip Wizard and my Garmin 890. So what I thought I would do is show you basically how I set up the RVTrip Wizard, and this is the website that you'd go to sign up for it. I think it's about $69 a year right now. It's either 59 or 69. I think it was 59 when I started it, but I think it has gone up to $69 a year. But the tools that it gives you are phenomenal, and I really like it. So let me show you what the RVTrip Wizard looks like. And I'm already logged in, so we're just going to go right to the planner. So basically what you want to do here is we're going to create a trip, and we're going to call this Trip to Texas. So I can show you basically how I set this up, and I'm going to do it from home. Let's see if I can spell my community right. There we go. Tehachapi, California. We're going to start there. And then it'll come up with trip settings. You can go right into RV info, which is where I'm sitting at about 13 feet, actually 6 inches, at 41 feet and a half, 16,500 pounds GVWR. Okay, so now that I'm set up right here, I want to go all the way over here to my default settings. So I'm going to go over here under my my name here, and I'm going to go to default settings, and I want to go to, I've done my RV info. My routing and driving is I don't care about tolls or avoiding highways or anything like that. And I do want it to use routing engine estimates, so I get a good average estimate on all my costs. And then my average driving speed is about 65 miles an hour. And then we'll come on back over here, but we want to go back to default settings one more time. We're going to set up our expenses. So the average camping is about $65 a night. Meals, I put 15. I'm by myself, but it could be anywhere from $7 to $15. I don't put any miscellaneous expenses. And then average cost per gallon right now, I'd say it's about $4.50. And then we're going to save the default settings. So now we're set up. So what we want to do is, I always like to put where my destination is going to be. So we're going to go to Burleson, Texas. That's where we want to end up. Right now, we're just going to be staying the night. We'll change that later on, and that is my last stop. And we're going to save that custom stop. So now that is the last stop. So now we can show the entire trip, and it shows everything that's going on. So now that we've got that in there, it's going to assume, first of all, that we are full of fuel when we leave Tehachapi. So we're going to edit that real quick. 0 for the nights. Fuel cost $5 a gallon. Starting fuel is 32 gallons. That's how much my truck holds. All right, so now we want to add campgrounds, and you can kind of make adjustments. So I'm kind of looking at trying to drive my first night out to Flagstaff, Arizona. So we're going to find, and if you'll notice over here to the right, it already comes up with campgrounds in the Flagstaff area. What I'm looking for, though, is I'm looking for good sand parks. So here's a good sand park. We're going to take a look at this. This is Black Bart's RV Park. This is where I stayed. If you watched my first video, you saw that. So I'm going to add that to the trip. That is not my last stop. That is going to be the Tehachapi, California, from Tehachapi, California. And we're only going to stay there one night. And it was actually $65. So I don't need to change that. All right, so now we'll go back out and show the trip. So if you look, RVTrip Wizard puts this little funny symbol right here, and that is the start of your reserve. So your fuel reserve. So if you go back to default settings, it'll actually ask you how many gallons you have when you hit your reserve. I believe that's under routing and driving. Yep. So averaging 6 hours a day at the most. My minimum distance is 100, middle distance 150, max distance 300. Let's say 350 miles. Middle distance 200, and we'll save that out. Okay, so this shows me where we're at when if you look here, fuel warning based on your trip settings, you'll begin to tap into your fuel reserve around this point. Make sure you fuel up. So now what we want to do is we want to go to points of interest, and we're going to click on fuel, and we've got Pilot, Flying J, we've got Costco selected. Believe it or not, there are some Costcos out there that have diesel. Loves Travel Stops, TA, Petro. Okay. Now we're going to go down here. We're going to search for the POIs, points of interest. So with this being where I'm going to start into my reserves, I want to get fuel before that. So I'm actually going to go all the way back here to Barstow to give myself a little bit better distance. We'll search for, there we go, and we're going to fuel up in Barstow. These are some of the things that I think about to make sure that I'm able to get fuel at the right locations. So I'm going to add the TA to my trip. It's going to be after Tehachapi. I'll add that in there. And then we'll go back up here, show the entire trip. And you'll notice that that's kind of interesting. So let's go here to Travel Centers of America, and we're going to edit that. Yep. Okay, and we are going to 0 nights, no camping. So we arrived at fuel at 22.23 gallons. Fuel used at 9.77 gallon. Okay. And we're going to top this thing off. And what that should do is move the running out of fuel. Okay, so you'll notice that it was down here. It's now up here. And it'll give me an opportunity really to pick up some fuel. And now I'm going to hit the Love's travel stop. We'll add that to the trip. It'll be after Travel Centers of America. And then we're going to edit it. And we're going to top that off. Now you can add the actual cost per gallon once you get there if you want to, but I just leave it at where it's at. And then we're going to show the entire trip. So now we won't need fuel again until quite a ways past Flagstaff, our Black Bart's stop. So now we're going to add the next stop, which should be somewhere in Albuquerque. I figure out that we'll find the right one here. That's Leisure Mountain, keeps coming up. There we go. Nope, that's Hidden Valley. So we stayed at, and you can look for it if I can find it, Route 66. Route 66 RV Park. Let's see, there we go. And we're going to put that after Black Bart's. And that adds that. So now we have to take a look at fuel. Let's see where we're doing here, or how we're doing. Okay, so now our next fuel stop needs to be before there. And we'll search for our POIs, and there's another Love's right there. So I'm using Love's because of my EFS travel card. I can either use Love's or TA or Petro. If I have to get fuel at Flying J or Pilot, I can. Let's go there again. There we go. So add that, and that'll be after Black Bart's. And then we're going to edit it so it knows that we're going to top off. And you see how this is working. It is actually going through and it is calculating the miles. So if you look over here, showing how many miles we're traveling in between stops. So we'll have 607 miles to go after the Route 66 RV park. So let's go show the entire trip again, and we'll see how far we can get. So basically, we start tapping into our reserves. Right here at Edgewood, which is at the Route 66 RV park. So we're going to back up and find a Love's travel stop, which is just outside of Albuquerque. Pretty sure, or right inside of Albuquerque. And there it is right there. So we'll pick up fuel here. And this is going to be before Route 66, so we'll get fuel at that Love's travel stop. And we'll edit that, top it off. Now we need to go back. Yeah, so now we're at the Route 66 RV park. So we're going to say one night. And then we'll show the entire trip. And you see how quick this is going. Now, I think we can go a little farther than that. So let's Let's see where we're at here at Love's Travel Stop. We topped off there, and we're now at 32 gallons. So I guess we're going to have to get fuel. Okay, so this is where you're going to play a little chicken here. And why I never ever put more fuel in the reserve tank than I should. I only put 2 gallons to make sure that I can get to where I need to go. But I'm going to add this Love's Travel Stop after the Route 66 RV park, just for the simple fact that I think I'm going to be able to make it. So we're going to top off right there. Okay, that leaves us 360 miles to Burleson, but I'm just going to be too tired to to continue on that. So let's take a look at. We've got to stop somewhere, probably. And where I stopped, and you can find parks. You can see all of the. So this is the silos at Canyon Park, just outside of Amarillo. Let's find Treetop, because that's where we stopped. Treetop RV Park in Childress. Let's see if we can find it. Or maybe I could spell correctly. So this is actually where we're going to stop. Let's see, we're on the map where it's at. That is quite a ways away from Amarillo. So that's where we're going to stop. Let's look for Childress. Have them take us there. And here we go. Let's find it now. That's J and LS. There's Love RV Park. And nope. Red Roof RV Park. It does not see Treetop RV Park. I know it was there. So we'll just pick one. And we'll just add the Red Roof in. We'll just add Love RV Park. And we're going to put this there. And we're going to make that one night. And we'll show the entire trip now. Okay. So now we're all the way down. And we've got to find someplace, probably Wichita Falls, Texas. Got to zoom in to find a fuel. And now since there's no Loves in that area, I'm going to go to Petro because I can use my EFS card. And here we go. We're going to edit it. And we'll top it off. And that will get us to where we want to go. So now the trip is pretty much complete. We've got our RV parks all situated, and the next thing we can do is it's already pretty much saved. You don't need to tell it to save it. It is going to save it. So right now we're looking at about $1,100, which by the time I got here, that's pretty much what I spent. It was about actually a little over 1,000 is what I spent to get here with fuel costs and RV parks and food and everything. So that's the average. So now that we've done that, we can hit the road, and let's turn to the videos of what happened when I got in the truck and turned it on, because now we're gonna turn over onto the iPhone app or your Android app, and we'll get it loaded up. So okay, so here we go. All right, so what we're gonna do here today is I actually did this for my first day of travel to Texas, and I'm looking at kind of the difference between my Garmin and the RVTrip Wizard used on CarPlay. So you can see how I've got this all set up already, and I'll go online and show you how that sets up. But you set it up online and then it transfers over to the app on the phone. So we're going to navigate to our first stop, which is fuel. So I press that and I allow the route changes if I need to. Okay, and then start navigation. And you see that it loads up on CarPlay immediately. And there you go. Now, for the 890, I actually had to go in and put each location in that I was going to today. It didn't do it automatically for me. I really do like my 890, and I will probably continue to use that. But this actually shows where we're at and where we're going. So shows I'm going to arrive. It says 9:45 tonight, but I know that, or actually this morning, sorry, my first stop. So that is 85.8 miles and 1.5 hours. So, all right, so let's get on the road and we'll give this a good shot and see how this works.
The question is whether or not there's any way of getting them out.
All right, so here you can see the RVTrip Wizard here, and it's got fairly zoomed in. And you can see the arrow. Now you put all your information into RVTrip Wizard, and this is an RV safe route, so I don't have to worry about any low bridges or anything. It is going to keep me on a safe route, as is the Garmin 890, and that's the Garmin 890 right there. You can see I could zoom in if I really wanted to, get a little bit closer in. Right now, because I've got a hand on the wheel and a hand on the camera, I can't do that, but definitely makes it nice to be able to zoom in and zoom out. That's one of the things I like about the Garmin 890. If I want a little bit farther out picture, I can. Right now, one thing that bothers me having both of these up there is that I get constant voice control from both of them. So, but yeah, both work really, really well. I really like both of them, and they're both make sure that I stay safe. So I'll zoom in a little bit for the Garmin, and then I'll bring the camera back up. Give me just a sec. All right, the one thing I like about the 890 is it really accentuates the terrain. So you can see the mountainous area that I'm driving through right now. And then down here you kind of can see it, but it's pretty light for the RVTrip Wizard. But I really like how the 890 shows the terrain, so I know that I'm in the mountains. Of course, I can see that out the front windshield, but it tells me when I zoom out, if I'm coming up into some mountains, it really gives me a good idea of the mountainous terrain I'm about to get into. So I'm not sure how to get this to zoom out. I don't think there's a function that you can. So, all right, we'll check in a little later. Okay, so we're getting ready to get off. We're gonna go get some fuel here, And I just wanted to kind of show you the difference as we get off the freeway. One thing I did notice is that there is a difference in mileage, and I'm sure it has to do with the fact that the RVTrip Wizard is being broadcast over cellular, and the 810 Garmin is, or 890 Garmin, sorry, is being broadcast GPS. So here you go, see the difference. I really like that little window in a window.
Take exit 283 on the right to Perkins Valley Road, then take the first right.
And there is our fuel stop. We're gonna see what this TA is like. The first one I stopped at I really didn't like, but we're gonna see what this one's like. Okay.
Turn right on Perkins Valley Road.
Wow, the price of diesel has really dropped. Started out at $6.40 in California, is now down to $4.15. Wow. All right, I'm gonna put the camera down now. Okay, so we're at the next stop. We're in Holbrook, Arizona. So now we're gonna navigate out to Albuquerque. Start our navigation and hit go. All right. Now the Garmin already knows that I'm going to the next stop. So we are going to just head out, and I've got a trucker who is getting a little close to me. Oh, he's backing up. So we'll let him go before we take off. All right, if you guys notice that I pull into and use the truckers' lanes for fueling up, there's no way I could get this rig, 41-foot fifth wheel plus my truck, into the auto lanes. So here we go. We're gonna head out. So one other thing that you should know with me using the truck lanes, I have an EFS fleet card, and it really helps me save some money. I get a discount on fuel. If you don't know what that is, I will leave a link down below so that you can subscribe to that if you're out on the road. It's one of those good fleet cards that gets you good discounts, and my truck is telling me, hey, get your seatbelt on. All right, see you guys on the road. All right, one more thing. Sorry, I keep stopping the video. But if you do use the truck lanes, you gotta follow the rules, guys. Make sure that you pull up to get fuel, you get your fuel, and then you pull forward so that the truckers can pull in and get their fuel too. So it's always important that you follow the rules, and the truckers don't mind as long as you're following the rules. And matter of fact, I've had a few of them make comments, say thanks for following our rules. We appreciate it. We know that we don't mind you using our lanes as long as you're following the rules. I wait my turn, and then as soon as I get my fuel, I pull forward. So if I pull up behind a truck that just gets started, then I might run in the store, get what I need to do, use the restroom, whatever, come back out, fill up, and take off. So there's a lot of things that you just want to keep in mind when you're using the truck lanes. Those guys are there to make money. They're the ones that are putting groceries on our shelves and items on the shelves of Walmart and everywhere else. So make sure that you always remember that. Okay, so here we're back on the road, headed out, and so far, well, sorry about that. My battery died while I was talking. So just wanted to kind of give you an overall, as far as I'm concerned. Both are really good ways to go. The RVTrip Wizard is $59 a year, whereas the Garmin is about $400 to $500, depending on, and it could be up to $700 depending on which one you want. If you go to Techno RV, they always have sales on these. I found this one for $100 off at Techno RV, and so Tammy and Eric have great deals on their store, and they're full-time RVers. They do a lot of traveling, so they know what it takes. But I at this point in time, I couldn't tell you which one's better. Although I like using the RVTrip Wizard to plan the trip. So having that come up on my phone and be able to transfer that to my truck is really a big time plus. And then I have to use the RVTrip Wizard to program the Garmin. So there you go. There's the big difference. Is the Garmin, you gotta find a way to plan the trip, and then with the RVTrip Wizard, you plan the trip once and then it transfers right over. So there's the big difference. All right, so I'm going to start paying attention to the road a little bit more. We'll see you guys in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Beautiful countryside here. Gorgeous. Okay guys, well that's it for comparing the RVTrip Wizard and the Garmin 890. Again, I really like them both, but the big difference is sitting down at the computer, programming all that out, and then it transfers it to the app, which then shows it up on your CarPlay or your Android Auto. It's really a great deal. Again, I'll probably continue to use my Garmin just because I really like some of the features on there, because it will actually show me things like if there's a restaurant coming up, if I'm coming up on a fuel stop, things like that. And then of course the picture-in-picture for getting off the highway, especially in a big city, it really works well and shows me which lane I need to be in. I really like that feature. So drives my wife nuts because I've got both of them up there, and they're both talking at the same time. If I can figure out how to get them both to shut up, I guess I can turn down the volume on the truck's stereo system, and then turn the volumes down on the 890. I really don't need that. The picture is the way to go. Hey, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that bell. Really enjoy doing these videos for you guys. I'll start picking them up now. Hopefully we'll get out a video a week. I've got lots of things about to do. I'm waiting on a couple of new doors for the fifth wheel. We're going to change out. We've got one of those funky bathroom doors on the half bath that is not on regular hinges. I'll explain that more when we get into the video. But we're going to change out that door and match the two doors, the door going up into the bedroom as well. So, all right, well, that's it. I'm Ron with RV Weekenders. Take care. We'll see you out on the road once we find a place to live.